Second one, I'm not gonna lie to you. Travis Hunter just made an unbelievable play on the ball.
When Travis Hunter gets drafted, I truly believe if he came out this year, he's not eligible, but if he came out this year, he'd be a whatever top round pick. And when you have his name next to his position, it would have wide receiver / cornerback. But this video is about what would he project better as, and I think he's be projected better as a cornerback. And I'm not saying he can't play wide receiver, because he can play wide receiver in the NFL. And I've given certain comps that I'll go over in a second, including some new ones. But what he's doing has been slightly done before. If you remember Devin Hester coming out of Miami, he was primarily a cornerback, and the coach down there at the time, Coach Coker, was begging him to stay for another year, saying, if you want to play offense, we'll let you do whatever you want to do. Truly, he was one of the best returners the NFL has ever seen, like bar none. So it's been done before, where guys kind of flirt with both sides of the ball. Stay with me. I'm going to go with the wide receiver. I've said many times before, he has a comp and a body composition that's similar to Jeremy Maclin, and they kind of run routes similar. Jeremy Maclin was a chunk play player. You went to him in a normal, drive. You're looking for him to get 20, 30 yards a pop. He could really have that kind of ability. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't always going to break a touchdown run like his counterpart in Deshaun Jackson, but he was a fantastic number 2 receiver. I think that's his floor. Okay, so now you think, what is his ceiling? Seeing him in person, he really reminded me of Deebo Samuel. And I'm not saying that he's there. I'm not saying that whatsoever. When you talk about pound for pound, toughest, north-south wide receiver that the team depends on, every third down, every time they look for a touchdown, it was to Travis Hunter. He either set up a defensive pass interference so the Colorado Buffaloes could score, or he's moving the chains. And that's how Deebo Samuel is. They look at him to try to give him the ball. They'll put him in the running back. As a running back, they'll give him, end arounds. They'll give him reverses. Anything to get his hands on the football, because he's a football player. And Deebo Samuel is highly regarded as one of the, like I said, best offensive players pound for pound. With that being said, and here's the part I'm going to say to you, is he viewed as the top wide receiver? Has he ever been viewed as the top wide receiver? The answer is no. In today's game, you look at the top 100 players, Deebo Samuel was highly ranked, but he wasn't number 1. Not when there's Justin Jefferson, not when there's Jamar Chase. So my point to you is, if his floor is Jeremy Maclin, who had a fantastic career, he went on to play, many years, long years with the Eagles, then with the Chiefs, primarily as a number 2 receiver to Deshaun Jackson, or the ceiling, in my view, where it's Deebo Samuel, a hyper athletic, very tough receiver. He has a lot of characteristics that remind me of Deebo Samuel, especially the way they use him. Is Deebo Samuel's the best wide receiver in football? My answer is no. However, on the flip side of it, you look at the comp for Travis Hunter as a cornerback. Body-wise, he reminds me a lot of Josh Norman. He's not a thicker kind of corner. He's kind of like a wire frame, but he's quick, has these quick cat-like reflexes, just like Josh Norman has. Josh Norman got so many interceptions because he had so great hands, and they threw the ball thinking he wouldn't be able to get to a spot, and he did. That's how Travis Hunter plays. When I saw that, and I was like, oh my gosh. And he didn't go to Coastal Carolina, all right? This man's at Colorado, and to me, he's way more polished than Josh Norman is already. So I think he's a step above. Now, with that being said, that's the floor. When I saw him cover people and jump routes, because he had to try to manufacture things because they weren't really throwing at him. There was the one thing at the end zone, he could have easily gave up a touchdown, but he was able to knock it out of the TCU receiver's hands. But outside of that, it was the interception he had and the interception he almost had. And the one he almost had, he jumped a route. Okay, so they didn't really throw at him unless he baited them. He baited them into throwing that interception in the end zone, near TCU's end zone. With that being said, who else don't they throw to, like, modernly, just recently? Darrelle Revis. I don't think he has. I think he's more athletic. I think Travis Hunter's way more athletic than Darrelle Revis at this current point, or any point. I just think Darrelle Revis had great technique, and on top of his athleticism, Travis Hunter has great technique and the athleticism. So when you think about it, Darrelle Revis was a first ballot Hall of Famer. He barely got thrown to in his heyday, like in his prime. They didn't really test him, and he went first ballot Hall of Fame. So if I'm a general manager, say if Travis Hunter comes out this year, yeah, you can draft him, and I'll turn in the card. It'll say Travis Hunter, wide receiver / cornerback. I'll be like, yeah, you could take the wide receiver stuff off. You can just slice that right off. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to use you. I'm going to make sure you get your offensive touches, especially if you can help the football team. You're going to be able to come in on those third clutch downs, the Hail Marys, certain situations, some end arounds, just to get you the ball and keep the defense on the heels. Maybe you'll come in as a distraction. But if you're a generational cornerback where your ceiling could be Darrelle Revis, to me, that's easy. When I saw Travis play, I saw a very, very, very good receiver. I didn't see the best receiver in football. I don't know if he could be the best receiver in football, but I do know he could be the best cornerback in football, for sure, with what I saw. Throughout the spring and what I saw in the game, his technique is fantastic. His ability to use his athleticism to react quickly and make a wide receiver look like they're open and then close the space, and his ability with his hands are uncanny. All right, he has great hand-eye coordination. He reminded me a lot of D'Angelo Hall. D'Angelo Hall was an undersized corner, but he could get his hands on the football and intercept it. Okay, so again, if your floor is Josh Norman, who had a fantastic NFL career, all right, fantastic, and your ceiling is Darrelle Revis, a first ballot Hall of Famer, I want you at cornerback, bro. I really do. Now, on the flip side, if your floor is Jeremy Maclin, very, very good player, he wasn't an NFL Hall of Famer, and your ceiling is Deebo Samuel could be a Hall of Famer, but he's got more work to do. I think he won't be first ballot. So if I'm a general manager, I want you on that side of the ball. I want you to be a playmaker, so you'll be able to dabble. But if you could really shut down a offense for me, or shut down a Justin Jefferson, shut down a Jamar Chase, you can hang with a route technician like Zay Flowers that's coming into the league, shut down OBJ. Those are the things I would be very, very, very conscientious in looking for. You can run with Tyreek Hill. Oh my gosh. Bro, can you take Tyreek Hill out the game? That's great. Who's Tua going to throw to now? Nobody. He's going to get hit. All right, that's what he does. So if he can be that kind of generational talent, I want him on the defensive side of the ball. That's why, me personally, when I finally told my dad after I thought about it, I think he's a better defensive back, a better cornerback, because he could be generational. He could be really good as a wide receiver in NFL and do some really, really good things. Just like when Devin Hester got in on the offense at times, he was able to make things happen for the Bears. But if I'm Ryan Poles, general manager of the Bears, and Travis Hunter is coming up, and they got some high round draft pick from the Colts or whoever, I turn that card in. I'm drafting Travis Hunter primarily as a cornerback, and I need him to take out the game's best wide receivers, because he has that ability and to take the ball away from the quarterbacks that's thrown against him. That's a very, very special talent. So that's just my opinion. And before I forget, he is getting trained. He's being coached up by the greatest cornerback to ever live. He's not playing for Jerry Rice. He's not playing for Megatron or whoever else, Terrell Owens. They had T.O. come in, but he doesn't play with him throughout the years. He's played under Prime. Prime has told him every trick you can think of. He has told him how to bait, which he did. I saw that for myself. He's told him how to play the position. He's fine-tuned his technique. He is one of the better fundamentally sound cornerbacks I've seen, especially being so young. And that has a lot to do with his work ethic, his will, what he's naturally good at, and Coach Prime. And going against a great quarterback every day. He does not have a Hall of Fame wide receiver coach coaching him each and every day. He has a Hall of Fame cornerback and the greatest cornerback. So to me, it's very obvious how I would play him. And I think if he went that route, even though he likes wide receiver, it seems like he may like wide receiver more. Travis Hunter can track the ball and catch it, especially like I said, he has great hands. But I don't know if he'll reach the highest level of being regarded as the best wide receiver. Corner, well, all respect to Sauce Gardner, all respect to, all the other cornerbacks in the game currently, Jair Alexander out there in Green Bay, and whoever else you may think of, even the ones of yesteryear like Richard Sherman and, like I said, Darrelle Revis. He could be in that realm, all right? Like, I'm going to shut people down for the next, however many years he wants to play. And then he could be first ballot. I see that for him and his talent and his fundamentals. So it's going to be up to him. Y'all let me know what y'all think again here at the Sports.